Hi guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back for another United Daily Live. It is of course a match day, so this is a little bit of an unusual one, as I usually say I don't go live for United Daily on a match day. But nevertheless, here we are to discuss something which probably deserved us to go live, which is why we're here. Today, the 30th of June, Angel Gomes' contract at Manchester United expires. Now we've had months and months and months of speculation. Rumours saying he was signing, rumours saying he was leaving, rumours linking him with Dortmund, Juventus, Barcelona, Chelsea, whole host of different clubs, and it looks like Angel Gomes' time at Manchester United is now up. We had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer discussing his future yesterday and giving a few quotes out on Angel Gomes. We've had an article in The Athletic today which kind of, points out how it's gone down and how he has left Manchester United and all those kind of things. So we'll be going into everything here today on Angel Gomes and all of the reports that are out there in terms of Angel Gomes. There's also plenty of other quotes as well in relation to Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood potentially signing a striker, and of course the game ahead tonight. So we've got loads to get stuck into today here on AdamMcKola TV, and I hope you're with us for the long run today. We're going to be live for a long time today. We've obviously got the match coming up later on, so that will be a watch along for you there, probably about 2 hours there, and then after that we will have the live fan cams as well coming up for you. So make sure you're keeping it locked for all those things here on AdamMcKola TV. Plenty to get stuck into today. So let's get stuck into the story in regards to Angel Gomes. We'll get some quotes from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We'll get the story from The Athletic, and then we'll get your thoughts on Angel Gomes as well, as it looks like he's set to leave Manchester United. Solskjaer said yesterday, when asked about Angel Gomes, he said, "You can ask Angel why he hasn't signed. He hasn't signed yet. I don't know what talks are behind the scenes. Angel's a top kid. Of course, there are people around him that advise him to do different things. If he doesn't sign, all the best to Angel, and I'm going to follow his career. If he signs for us, let's kick on." So that was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, saying he wasn't sure what's going on with Angel Gomes, whether he'd agreed a new deal or not, where the talks were, but he wanted him to sign, and he had left that door open, saying, he's a good kid. If he leaves, I'll keep an eye on his career, but I want him to stay, and if he stays, let's get on with working. And you can criticise Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for maybe not selecting Angel Gomes at times. Obviously he's had his injury issues. When he's come on, he's had brief cameos and he's shown signs, but not enough in those games to say, he should definitely be starting. But he has shown something that's made you think, you know what, I want to see more of him. I want to see more of him. And we never quite did get to see more of him now. Some people would say that was down to his contract situation, but Tahith Chong played an awful lot for Manchester United whilst his contract was still being disputed and whilst it looked like he could possibly be going to Juventus. So I don't buy into that at all. Now, at the time, earlier in the season particularly, we had Andreas Pereira, Jesse Lingard, Juan Mata playing, and that was the time where Angel Gomes should have got an opportunity. He should have got a chance in that period of time. And he never quite did. Whether it was his performances in training, he never quite showed that he was pushing on. It's hard to say because, generally speaking, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has given opportunities to players. Brandon Williams has gotten a chance. Axel Tuanzebe was, if he didn't get injuries, he was going to play against Liverpool. He was going to get an opportunity in the first team. Scott McTominay, who came through under Jose Mourinho, obviously continued to get game time. We've seen brief spells for Dylan Levitt, James Garner, Ethan Laird. Tahith Chong's played an awful lot. Mason Greenwood's played a lot. So players have been getting opportunities, and it just leaves you sitting there thinking, what's gone on here? What has gone on here? Now, a lot of people compare it to Paul Pogba's situation, and I don't think that's fair, because when Paul Pogba was at that point, United needed a central midfielder quite clearly, and I think you could argue we needed a creative midfielder like Angel Gomes. But when Pogba played, he showed that he should have been getting some game time. He should have been starting above Rafael and all those players that were playing in the middle of the park, Parkchi and who else played in there? John O'Sh. Like, there was loads of different players playing in there, and you could see, like, yo, Pogba needs to play. And Fergie even said at that time, if I don't play him, I could lose this boy. Eventually, you know, Fergie didn't like his agent. He went to Juventus. He came back, whatever. Now, Angel Gomes could still leave, tear it up, and people could be like, yo, another Pogba. But I don't think the situations or the circumstances are the same or identical. But I feel like he should have got more chance than he did. And there's a question mark there, like, why didn't that happen? But Ollie's shown, you know, evidence in his team selection and the way he's been going, that if you perform well, you play well, you train well, you get a chance. So it's a lot of questions unsaid and unanswered. And Angel Gomes is someone that, you know, is the youngest player to get a debut since Duncan Edwards for Manchester United. You know, Jose didn't play him much after that. He had a few injuries and things like that, and obviously Jose was in line to lose his job almost. So you could understand why Jose didn't play him, but you would have wanted him to get more of an opportunity just after that. He didn't. He stagnated possibly a little bit. Under 23s football isn't great for everyone. And I don't buy into the whole stature thing either. I don't buy into that. Because if you know, Tahith Chong wasn't the strongest player. You know, he looked weak a little bit on the pitch sometimes. So it's weird what's gone on here. But it looks like he's leaving. Now, the article today from Laurie Whitwell on The Athletic said, Manchester United made Angel Gomes a very good financial offer to stay at the club, according to sources familiar with the talks, but ultimately, game time is the reason he is leaving after almost 14 years, progressing through the academy ranks. Gomes was at the Carrington complex as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer revealed United had not received a response to the proposed contract extension. As well as a training session, there were goodbyes. It was his last day, said an insider. Considering Gomes has been at the club since an age of 6, there is a tinge of sadness at the way things have turned out. In May 2017, he became the youngest player to debut for United since Duncan Edwards. He was 16 years old in 263 days when he replaced Wayne Rooney for the final minutes of a Premier League win over Crystal Palace. Today marks the date when United stopped paying Gomes the month's severance on his expired contract, and a decision on his next club will come in due course. He is not believed to have a destination lined up yet, but several teams are interested and a move overseas could be on the cards. Sources have played down the Chelsea links. Now, if he ended up going to Chelsea, that would piss me off a lot because, brother, you've come through here. You know, how much likely is it for you to get more game time there? I don't think it is. And, you know, I can see why he would possibly want to leave United because now it's a different team to before. It's not Andreas and Jesse and, you know, you're not fighting with Juan Mata for a spot anymore who, you know, 3 players that potentially were on their way out. You're now fighting with a stronger first 11 and you're just fighting to get on the bench. I feel like he should have been on the bench more though, and I can't stop saying that. Talks with United have been going on for months, and at one stage Gomes, a technically gifted central midfielder, attacking midfielder, looked close to re-signing. But a continued absence from the first team picture since football's return has confirmed his belief his future is best served elsewhere. Gomes has not been named in any of the 3 matchday squads since the resumption of English football, despite the substitutes bench increasing from 7 to 9, and Solskjaer giving fringe players a chance at Norwich City in the FA Cup on Saturday. At points during negotiations, sources say Solskjaer has reassured Gomes that opportunities would be forthcoming. However, he has played only 291 minutes across 6 matches this season. The last 10 minutes of those coming on January the 11th against Norwich. 2 starts against Astana, 1 versus Alkmaar in the Europa League, and substitute appearances against City and at West Ham in the Premier League complete his campaign. Given United's creative struggles during the autumn, some have wondered at low numbers of chances he was given, like I alluded to earlier. From Solskjaer's perspective, Gomes did not do enough in those matches to warrant a more consistent run, notably in terms of his assertiveness, and further development out on loan would have proven beneficial. I disagree, because when he got on for a few minutes at best, and I think when he showed signs that if you play him a little bit more, there might be something else there, and he also showed a lot more signs than Andreas Pereira and Jesse Lingard. So that's just a head scratcher. And Tahith Chong, United could not count on such a move for a player entering his final year. It would act as a shop window for a potential free agent move, and the absence of a new deal was also a factor in Solskjaer's selections. So it's almost like Angel wanted Solskjaer to play him so he could sign the new deal. Solskjaer wanted him to sign the new deal so he could play him, and they were almost caught in this stalemate. The United man, read that bit out. Interest has surrounded Gomes ever since he was named most valuable player at 2015 Premier Cup. So there we go, man. But the quotes that came from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer were, "You can ask Angel why he's not signed. I don't know what the talks are behind the scenes. Angel's a top kid, of course. There are people around him that advise him to do different things. If he doesn't sign, all the best to Angel. I'm going to follow his career. If he signs for us, let's kick on." And it feels like that was the sticking point for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There was no signing. There was no kicking on. And when the signature on the deal didn't come, Ole didn't play him. When he didn't get played, the signature on the deal didn't come. It was a complete stalemate, and it looks like we've now lost Angel Gomes. You know what? Good luck to him. Obviously, if he goes to Chelsea, my opinion on that would probably be a little bit different. But if he goes abroad, I hope he does well. I'm not bothered about whether we look back on it and think, oh, it's a shame that we let him go. I'd rather he did well. He's a talented player. He's a good player. He needs to get opportunities. It's a shame he didn't sign a deal at Manchester United and stay. But there you have it. Let us know what you think in the comments below. I was lucky enough to play against him during the Under-17 World Cup a couple of years back. Kid was amazing. Such a shame, says Kaiser Tan. It was the commitment to the club and not the career, says Fairmod. Chong has been respectful and signed his contract, and now he starts to get game time. Maybe go on loan as well, says Ross Murphy. But you do remember there was a period of time where he hadn't signed a deal at all. And he did. There was a lot of rumours that he was going. You remember DiMarzio reporting Chong was going to Juventus. Sons of Grimnir says the chances he did get, he's been poor compared to the starting 11 and other youth that have come through like Mason and Brandon. But you're comparing it to this starting 11. He wasn't coming into this starting 11. He was coming into a starting 11 that had Andreas and Jesse Lingard. Now I understand this starting 11 he shouldn't be starting. Although you could argue against Norwich, you could have got minutes. But when you got Bruno and Pogba and all these guys, I can understand why he's not starting there. But before January, when there was no Pogba, there was no Bruno Fernandes at United, there was no form from Jesse or Andreas, he should have got an opportunity and he didn't. And you feel like if he gets that opportunity, maybe he starts to feel like, I'm more at home here, I'll sign a thing. But maybe Ole was waiting for him to sign the thing before he got the deal. But then why did you play? Why did you play to Heath Chong then? Russ says they probably knew that he was going to sign a contract. Difference with Chong was that we were short on wingers, says Zach. Possibly, but we're also short on creative midfielders for a long period of time. What do you know about a Barca kid joining United, says Taron. I think that's in relation to Marc Jurado. I believe there was some developments on that. I'll get the latest news on that shortly once we've finished this little bit of a discussion on Angel Gomes. But keep your thoughts, keep your comments, keep your shares, keep all that good stuff coming in here on AdamMcKola TV. No one has a divine right to play for the club. You have to earn it. Maybe it's down to a lack of fight for the badge and attitude that has led to his exit. Sad, but I feel we need players who want it, says the collective force. Now, I don't agree with that statement at all. I just would disagree whether you can label that at him because he's a player that's come through Manchester United. He's probably felt like he should have got a chance 2-3 years ago under different managers, surely. And he probably felt he should have got more of a chance under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he didn't. So he probably feels a little bit let down as well. He's one of our own players that came through the ranks, but then we don't get to see him training and things like that, so you can't really say anything. Guys, get hitting that like button, get commenting, get sharing, get subscribing, get joining as well if you can, and of course get your super chats in. We will be back later on for the Manchester United Brighton and Hove Albion game for the live match day watch along, so make sure you're joining us for that. We'll have live fan cams as well this evening, so make sure you're joining us for that. and we'll have plenty of more stuff coming up for you. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, notifications, joining and keeping it locked. On the face of things, I don't think Gomes would have done a better job than Lingard and Pereira. I disagree with that. Jay Reedy says he's had people bigging him up far too much and he'll come to regret it. Kids for talent, unfortunately not giving enough opportunities. Sorry, kids got talent, I think Josh meant. Unfortunately not given enough opportunities. I think he loves the club, been here 14 years, but feels he should have played. It is a weird one. I don't want to come down harsh on a kid. You know, I feel like he just wants to make a breakthrough. He wants to get football, and he's probably backing himself to go and do that elsewhere. And if you're going to go elsewhere, you're going to have to do well. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have to do well. Fingers crossed it does. I don't want to see him struggle or disappear off the face of the footballing earth, like a Zeki Fries or something like that, because he's got talent. Maybe Ollie is getting rid of players who are not showing the right attitude, not willing to fight for a place in the team, says Rebecca. However unlikely, he could possibly get a deal, but how would that work? Says, do you mean in terms of now? He could still get a deal. At the moment though, you know, this is the last day of his deal. He's said his goodbyes already and he's not in training. 6'4" Ahmed says we didn't want him anyway with the crying emoji. I love that. We didn't want him anyway. Moving on from that, I know you want an update on Marc Jurado, because we have heard some news in relation to him recently, and Marc Jurado penned a letter, an emotional letter thanking Barcelona as he confirms he is leaving ahead of an expected summer switch to Manchester United's academy. Today I have to say goodbye is what he said. So he's joining Manchester United. That has been, you know, rumoured for a long time, but now he's confirmed his exit from Barcelona by saying, it is never easy to leave the team that has given you everything. FC Barcelona has been my second home, my second family, where I've trained as a player, but also as a person. Today I have to say goodbye, but not before thanking each of the people who have helped me since I started in 2011. I have been fortunate to share my passion with a fantastic generation with whom I will always be linked. We started at children who only wanted to run after the ball, and I said goodbye later, 9 years later, being able to call them friends. Only we know the immense luck we have had with all the coaches who have trained us and helped us to continue fulfilling our dreams. Every stage has a beginning and an end. Mine, after much reflection with my family, has arrived. Gone are indelible memories that will always accompany me. The teenage defender has been playing for the club's Cadet A side this season and was due to be promoted to the B team for the following campaign. But now it looks like he's en route to Manchester United. Jurado's exit is expected to net the club around £1.3 million, which is a small compensation fee, which is in accordance with his age and how long he's been in the academy and things like that. So Marc Jurado looking likely that he is joining Manchester United, although it is definite that he is leaving Barcelona as he says his goodbye. So there could be something in those reports linking him with the Reds. Angel Gomes on his way out, one academy player out, potentially one academy player in, and maybe that says we're doing something right at United. I don't know. It's a contrast, isn't it? It's a weird contrast on today. Solskjaer says in relation to competition for places, you need competition for places at United. If you think you've got a divine right to be playing every game and are doing so well that we're not going to look for players to replace you, you're in the wrong place. I'm sure he had a lot of experience of that as well, with so much strikers coming in at United and competing with him over the years. We've always got to look at improving, and if they don't improve, we might have to look somewhere else to get better, because we have to be better. We're too far away from where we need to be and want to be. That sounds like a challenge to those boys, doesn't it? More so than a threat. Sounds like a challenge, and that's the kind of thing he's good at. He gives them a lot of praise. He gives them a lot of, you know, positive quotes, but he'll also not give negative, but he'll give challenges, and that's what you want to see. You want to see your players challenged, so they're not settling and accepting where they're at the moment. They know that I trust them, speaking about Martial, Rashford and Greenwood. They know I want the best for them, but they also know I've got to make the decisions for the team and the club. I think all three have had good developments this season, but they can be so much better. I'm still waiting to see them blossom, because there are parts of their games that they still need to improve on. And that's great to see as well. He also said some other positive words about Anthony Martial. who's doing really well at the moment. You know, he goes, we'll keep challenging. There are players in and around the team and outside the club who want to be number 9 for United. He's had to have that burden of the shirt and be the central focus through the middle. Sometimes that's not easy when you play for United, but he knows that we trust him, and I think he knows that we want to keep him developing. He's a good finisher, but it's about being in around the right positions. He's developed more and more in terms of getting into the penalty area and closer to the goal. We do a lot of work in finishing groups and sessions, but it's also down to him to be mentally sharp and ready. We've always known he's a quality player and highly, highly skillful. He knows that we trust him. He knows that we'll have patience with him, and he knows that we'll keep working with him. Which is, again, he's giving the good side and he's giving a challenge, and that's what you want to hear, your players being challenged. Carambola says Jurado's signing is bad news for Delo. Could be, but he is only 16, so I expect if that becomes a problem, it will be down like further 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line. And you know, who knows, Aaron Wan-Bissaka probably still boss in that position at that point. Logan says United should sell Mata, Lingard and Sanchez. Galaglac, sorry if I've said that wrong, mate, says, my only worry for Hannibal Mejbri is he looks Pogba-esque in a way. He won't care for the club and leave if we won't do everything to keep him happy. I don't know how you tell that from without knowing him, unless you read something that I haven't. Is what true about Alexis, about him? So what we've heard about Alexis Sanchez is that he's agreed an extension to his loan deal to the end of the campaign, but also that Inter Milan are interested in extending it for next season, and they could possibly be looking at a permanent deal as well, which I hope United are make easy for them, because we don't need to be asking for stupid wages. But Man United may have finally the opportunity to offload Alexis Sanchez, with Inter Milan reportedly the destination, possibly even permanently. Gazzetta dello Sport said United are open to allowing Sanchez to stay with Inter Milan until the end of the season, but are unwilling to extend it far enough for him to participate in the Europa League for Inter. Inter could even agree an option to buy the player to convince United. So United at this moment in time are saying you can extend the deal until the end of the Serie A season. We might be coming up against Inter in the Europa League, so let's weaken them along there. I don't think you could play against United, but United are now probably using that Europa League angle as a little bit away in terms of getting a permanent deal for Alexis Sanchez. So let's see what happens there in terms of that. But I hope, he goes permanently. We need to get rid of him as soon as possible. Thank you to 500 plus of you watching today. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe to AdamMcKola TV if you're not subscribed yet. Help us hit 75k. I want to hit 75k by the end of July. If we can do that, we can then start the next target, which will be 100k by God knows when. But we'll try and do it anyway. So get hitting that like button, get subscribing if you can. And you're probably seeing people with my head next to them in the comments with an like emoji kind of thing. Wow, those guys are members. So if you want to become part of, we've got over 100 members at this moment in time. We're trying to get 200 by the end of August. Click that join button if you can. Paul B says Sky's James Cooper has been saying some really good stuff about our structure now at the club, academy recruitment. It's all going in the right direction, and Sancho is Man United's #1 target. I hope Sancho is our #1 target. We're really crying out for that right winger now. When you look at the squad, you think Alexis Sanchez, if we can get rid of him, we get rid of a big wage bill, a big wage after wage bill, sorry. There's probably a few other players that will be potentially leaving, Chris Smalling, Marcus Rojo. So you're starting to trim the wage bill down even further, and I think the wage bill, since we've got rid of so many players over the last couple of years and brought in players that would have been on, in comparison to some of those that left on modest wages, then you start to see probably the wage bill has dipped dramatically. It'll enable us to give bigger deals to the likes of Paul Piper and stuff, which hopefully he'll sign. But also it means that we've got a little bit more wiggle room when we're targeting players as well. So I'm hoping we'll get that Jadon Sancho deal done. I'm quite confident about that one, although I'm not in the know. I just know what you guys know and what I report on here from various different sources. And the reliable sources are kind of hinting at United being in there. And when you look at certain other stories in relation to Dortmund, the Achraf Hakimi story, etc., you look at some of those things and you think they ain't got no peas. They're looking to make money this summer. And I think, you know, when they're signing Jude Bellingham for £18 million, you'll see players leaving now. There's obviously got players they can sell for that kind of money, but I think they'll be looking to sell Jadon Sancho this summer. I wouldn't believe what they're saying in the media in relation to him. So, yeah. We've got that game coming up today. We're less than 8 hours away from kickoff now. Really looking forward to that one. Let us know what you lot are thinking about the game coming up later on today. And of course, keep your comments coming in as well. Can you believe what Barcelona swapped Arthur for Pjanic? I can't. It was a mad deal, that was. Some sort of money laundering going on there. Sure. If United's budget is around 60 to 100 million, it'd be wise to sell Lingard, Mata, Pereira, Dalot, Jones, Sanchez, Smalling. We're not selling all those players. Mata won't leave. Dalot might not leave. I think Rojo, Smalling, Sanchez, possibly. Jones, probably. Lingard or Pereira probably going to leave as well. But I don't think all of them will be leaving. Where's Angel going, says Glenn. Nobody really knows where Angel Gomes is going at this moment in time. Obviously, he's not staying at Manchester United. It seems that offer's been on the table. He hasn't accepted it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said if he's going to sign it, great stuff. If not, good luck to him. And United, there's been reports and sources in Athletics saying he said his goodbyes yesterday. So when you put all those things together, looks like Angel Gomes' time at Manchester United is done, which is a disappointing one considering he holds the record as the youngest player to make a debut for the club since Duncan Edwards. And talking about history of Manchester United, let's do another little on this day. So what's the date today? The 30th of June. Alright then. It is the 30th of June, isn't it? Yep, it is. So, on this day, 30th of June 1965, Gary Pallister is born on the Kent coast of Ramsgate. He is destined to become one half of one of the Manchester United's most formidable centre-back partnerships with Steve Bruce, together known affectionately as Dolly and Daisy. Playing alongside Bruce, he wins 3 Premier League titles, the European Cup Winners' Cup and Super Cup, 3 FA Cups and a League Cup. He comes to United from Middlesbrough in 1989 for £2.3 million, a record fee for a defender, before returning to the club he supported growing up 9 years later for £200,000 more. So on this day, Gary Pallister was born in 1965, and what a man Gary Pally was. Formidable partnership, as that book says, with Stevie Bruce, and you know, them two. You look at them and you just think they don't look that fit, they don't look that smart, they don't look that great, but they were a formidable centre-half partnership and they were fantastic, and one of the big reasons why United's early dominance of the Premier League came. So happy birthday to Gary Pallister. What a man. Hoss Nation, how you doing, man? I hope you and Dominic are doing well, mate. Thank you for tuning in. Mikey Smith, thank you again for being on mod as always, and Karen Baller for keeping it locked in the comments. What book is that? It's just a little on this day book, written by Mike Donovan and Pitch Publishing. It's just something I used for making like graphics and stuff for Full-Time Devils on this day stuff. Wake up, what day is it? Alright, we got July coming up next. We got a few more for the next couple of United dailies, so yeah, man, that's what happens there. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in today. Make sure you're keeping it locked, liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. Make sure at 3 PM today, if you've got nothing to do, if you're waiting for the United match tonight, have a little bit of competitive FIFA going on. Now, you may have seen myself against Foot FG before. Well, we're playing again today. That is the time and the Twitch, if we can get that focusing in. Well, we can't, but it's twitch.tv/FUT_FG. 3 PM today, we will be live. having a little head-to-head, Manchester United versus Manchester City. So make sure you're keeping it locked for that. Now, anyway, thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Keep it locked to AdamMcKola TV. We've had plenty of you guys in today. So thank you very much for joining us, all 500 odd of you. Make sure you're liking that video on your way out and subscribing as well if you're not subscribed. If you like this, bloody subscribe, man. Anyway, see you later.